Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you all had a good Osh Lahu Ishvalam TRECENA. So let me know how was the TRECENA for you. And while I'll just wait for a bit until some others just post the link on my Instagram. Today, hello Edmund. Thanks, buddy. So today we're gonna be analyzing the Osh Lahu TRECENA. As always, if you are just tuning in like the recording of this live, you can go to my website, mayadekeeper.me, and in there you can see my calculator. You can search for the next day, so you can see the snake over there. So in the graphic, you'll be able to see all of the nawals of this TRECENA. And also, if you are new to my channel or you are just arriving, I do live TRECENA analysis in the every 13th day of the Maya calendar. And if you are just starting to follow the Maya calendar, I have a playlist in here that's called Fundamentals, where I talk what nawals are. I talk a little bit about the TRECENAs, so you can catch up, to make it easy for you to understand what I'm going to be talking in here. So today we just gonna have like this I would say like a break from this pressure from the previous three TRECENAs, because just rewinding a little bit what we spoke in the previous three analysis, the Osh Lahu TRECENA, which was the seed TRECENA, where it was the process of planting or just harvesting or just preparing for collecting our abundance started. And then I told you that the key word for the next three TRECENAs would be how we dose stuff. And then we came with the Osh Lahu TRECENA, the 13 water. That would be the process of injecting force in the seed that we prepared in the first TRECENA. So after the Osh Lahu TRECENA, that we applied the force, then it came the TRECENA that just finalized right now, the Osh Lahu Ishvalam TRECENA, the greatest development, the greatest gestation, because we had the seed, then we have water, and then we had the world, like the earth, doing its magic to develop. So in order for us to get the abundance that we were aiming in this previous TRECENA. And I told you that it would be also the last TRECENA that we be needed to keep in mind the dosage aspect, because we don't want to rotten our seed, like everything that we were cultivating in the previous three TRECENAs. Ishvalam, we talk about the aggressive fertility, like when just like the earth, like that is just giving birth, to all the time to many types of life, but this fertility is so aggressive that they can cancel one another. The same way that the earth gives us life, she takes us as well. So it's an aggressive nawal. So in this fundamentals playlist, I talk a lot about this classification of the nawals, about masculine, feminine, feminine aggressive nawals, so you can understand a little bit better whenever I mention this classification. And so with all of this gestation that we were cultivating in this Trecena, like in order to gather the most intense abundance as possible, to collect resources, as a way to say. So in this Trecena, we're gonna be talking about the balance. So for those like we who are experiencing like craziness with all of this Trecena, maybe this one could be the one where we can find this ultimate balance, because Nauker represents the altar, like the place where we can put things in balance, we can communicate with the ancestor, with the other realms, we can negotiate in order to come to an agreement and bring balance to a situation. Ker is the now of the spiritual strength, is is the vitality of the forests. So after the war, Ishvalam just giving birth to all of the kind of forests and beings over there. So Ker is the wildlife. So Ker is this vitality that comes with the nature. But also we need to talk about the balance that we need to have in our environment, because Kerr, remember the last time we saw Kerr was in the position or in the now 6, like where to ponder the strength that we need. The same way, you know, the jaguars, they need to look after, you know, like their food. They need to control the species in their environment to make sure nothing gets like overpopulated, or they run out of resources, you know, to survive. So this is gonna be the Trecena. We're gonna be trying to achieve the greatest balance possible. No matter it's physical balance or spiritual balance, Care is the one that we try to compress, the just to bring this spiritual balance. And also Care can talk about whenever we talk about the boss, like the one that commands stuff. Is the now of the spiritual leader, but we need to be careful on how we treat the others, like with our positions as well. We need to have like just to act like in balance as well, to make sure of the to be sure of the we provide the best of the well-being for the community as well. So from all of the resources that we collected in the Oshilahu Ishvalam that we spoke in the previous analysis, now we can start with Hun Tz'ikin, one ego. Now one is the new beginning, is the first step, and Tz'ikin is the new focus, is the investment. So we talk about the now of the sky. If Ishvalam is the now of the earth, giving birth, gestating, Tz'ikin, we talk about the masculine aspects, is the sky, like the irradiation of the sky, just like the midday sun, or the rain that falls from the sky that's going to be wetting the earth, so it can germinate, helps germinating the seed. You give the proper conditions for the seed to germinate over there. And so we're going to be talking about what comes direct, just like the direct sunlight from the midday sun, the direct rain that falls from the sky. And so we're going to be talking about what we do also with the resources that we gather with Ishvalam. So how we invest that, it's just going straight forward. And Tz'ikin also will be representing like whenever we are disturbed about something. So depending on how the past Trecenas went for us and how we were able to dose, you know, the aspects, now we're gonna be delivering to Tz'ikin that can do this greatest investment to this stuff that we want to apply in this Trecena. So it's gonna be like maybe we collect so many new resources, because now we can dictate a new focus. We can start some new ideas, or just focusing in some other areas with the resources we accumulated. We can invest that in order to bring more, to give more strength into that. Could be a project, could be a relationship, could be anything. So this TRECENA, we're going to be accumulating strength so we can inject that somewhere. We can invest all of the strength into something. So it all depends on how the past TRECENA went for us. So of course, everyone has different goals, different plans. Of course, there are so many things that can vary, but so many different areas that this TRECENA can unravel. So it all depends, but everything starts with this new focus on how we're going to be applying all of these resources that we collected. And but also, depending on how, like if we have, for example, in the Ishvalam Trecena, the Jaguar Trecena, we gather so many resources. We had like so many different ideas just popping here and over there, just like this. We were aggressive with this fertility. Maybe we can start this Trecena a little bit confused, a little bit disturbed about so many different ideas, and don't know in each one we can invest, in each one we can go direct. So that could be a problem that can start like an stagnancy in this Trecena. Or maybe if we are we just produce a lot in the past Trecena, or maybe we are reluctant to accept a circumstance or a scenario that can be coming from this aspect that can make Tz'ikin disturbed. So independent of what happened in the previous Trecenas, we can always start anew, and it can establish a new focus, a new direction that we can go. So Tz'ikin is the beginning of this new direction, this new investment. What are you going to be doing with the resources that you accumulated? And then we're going to move to keep Ahmak 2, complementarity. Now 2 is a now that retracts. As I always like to repeat, like the sequence of the numbers, is the now that after the spring of new investments of Tz'ikin, now maybe the water doesn't have like a lot of strength to continue, so it needs to retract to accumulate more strength, or to make a calculation of where you'd like to go. So if you are using the Trecenas for managing your tasks and everything, now 2 days are great days for you to do the calculation. So days where you can project where you would like to get, what you would like to accumulate in this Trecena. At the same time, we can use the now 2 to take one step back to resolve things from the previous Trecenas. So if in this previous 3 Trecenas you had any trouble, or you can use the number 2 to look back and see how you can do better in this one. So it's a time to do the proper calculations. And nawal ahmak is a nawal that combines the complementary opposites. For example, the female jaguar, the masculine eagle, and to have a newborn, to have like to procreate. So it's the now of procreation, it's the cycle of the ancestors, the continuation of our generation. Also, if you're talking about business, is also the product or the business deal. So Hamak is going to be talking about combining the feminine and the masculine aspects of things to give birth to something new. But at the same time, like in this, like during this task of combining the complementary opposites, we can sometimes get too excited. We can get, we can lose, like the sight of where we would like to get. So we can cause blindness in our emotions. The same way that Tz'ikin represents the midday sun, Ahmak can talk about like whenever you are blind by that, that strong light that you look at that, so you may be able to stumble into something that you cannot see. So you are likely to commit mistakes. So that's something that nawal ahmak talks about. So kib ahmak can be the nawal of calculating like the results you would like to achieve in this Trecena, what you'd like to accumulate, this like the strength you would like to get, so you can project the results you'd like to get. But at the same time, you can look back to see what were the mistakes that you committed that were kind of influencing in the way the things are, in the repercussion of things in this Trecena. So it's a good moment for you to think about and correct, the mistakes, just to make some amends, so that doesn't bother you further. So you can do a proper calculation of the stuff that is going to be relevant for you. So Kebahmak to complementarity can also be like the moment where you can do the calculation or see who are the people that you can have like next to you that is going to be likely to provide you good results, or it could be like a mentor, could be or someone that will give you like the stuff that you need, so you can give something else, so you can become something else. So it's the day to project what kind of results we would like to get in this Trecena. And then from Kebahmak, we're gonna move to Oshib Naor, 3 thoughts or 3 knowledge. Now 3 is the water that goes forward, that opens the path. After the calculation of now 2, now 3 already have enough strength so you can go forward, can overcome obstacles. And now Naor is the now of the organization, is the now that follows many aspects of what we can call like the aspects of the brain: analysis, synthesis, and but also is a now of obsession that creates patterns. So it's the intelligence of the planet. But it's very similar to the now 8 that keeps coming back into something, but now tends to enter into obsession, or to provide many ideas. But sometimes, like when you have an idea, like you fall in love with that idea, but then you try to fit in there, but so it doesn't work, so you get obsessed, so you try to fit that no matter what. So that can be an aspect of now of you become obsessed about an idea, or overthinking about something. If you got too excited in nawal ahmak, or you got into blindness into that, it's very likely that you're gonna be diverging into so many different ideas. You can be likely to start overthinking too much, and that can add to the reluctancy or the weight that this Trecena can add. Just like now Ker can be like the one that's is very reluctant to move forward, is the one that's become stagnant into one single place, just like the moose, like that is reluctant to move, or and there is nothing that you can do to move like that head thing out of your way. So we need to be very organized. So opening the path for the organization can be the key for us to flow with this Trecena, to use the strength that we are aiming to accumulate, so we can flow with it, we can flow with our ideas, we can flow with our inspiration. We need to be focused of where we would like to get. That's the first step, just like as you saw in Tz'ikin, the one ego. So the more organized we are, the more we are able to flow with these ideas. We can also put some ideas in our basket to see what we can do later on, but try to not exaggerate into that, because now you try to tend to overthink too much. So try to take it easy with now, see with the stuff, and just flow with what you have. And then from Washib Naor, we're gonna move to Kahib Tihash for cut. Now 4 is the water that after opening the path, it stops somewhere. It can be like a temporary pause, could be something that is just becoming stagnant somewhere. Just like the water in a pool of water, or like a dam, or the water that is just stuck in a container. And Tihash is the now of the incision, the cut, can be the editor. Like if you have like so many different ideas in now, you are diverging to so many different aspects where you could go, because there are always 1,000 of possibilities that we can do with many different ideas, but they always will serve to all of the purposes. So we need to know like exactly like how to use those ideas. Like that's why it's very important that we open the path organized with now, so we know what to do. So then Tihash, we are able to cut the losing threads. We can cut everything that we don't need. So it's the time to do this, to cut like well, like the excess of something. Now, Tihashi also is the now of the medicine, is the now of the healing. So it can be a good moment for you to do a pause to heal what you need, like to bring healing to your physical body, to bring healing for your ushlab, that is your inner spirit, to bring healing for your personal relationships. So is that time in the, or it can be like the strategic pause to do this stuff. Also, Tihash is now the rules over one of the now is the rules over communication, like the use of our language, the words. Words can heal and words can hurt. So we need to be very aware of the words that we're gonna be, using with others. So in the same way, like as this TRECENA we talk about this accumulation of spiritual strength, we can empower ourselves, like with, on how we portray ourselves, like what we tell ourselves, and also what we tell others as well. So we need to be very aware on how we're going to be using our communication in this TRECENA. And also like to could be like a day to establish how we're going to be talking through things in this TRECENA in order to bring balance, in order to bring, or just to give strength into stuff. And then, or otherwise, that Kahib Tihash can represent whenever we are stagnant, wounded about something. So, because now can also be like an inflammation because we are in blindness, in ahmak. So we need to avoid becoming stagnant with this stuff. And then we're gonna move to Hob Kawuk 5 Shit Lightning. Now 5 is the process of the water that overflows the container, when the phase of the water that is unstoppable. And as I say, hot days things can go sideways because we can lose control or lose the hand on how we are dealing with things. And now Kawuk, we talk about deep intuition. Deep intuition is different from following our gut. Deep intuition, we talk about unsolicited information, like whenever we see like the sheet lightning, like or the sudden light that comes and just bring you like an information. It could be that you could see like the big picture of everything, or your plans, or where you'd like to go, or you'd like to achieve, the strength you'd like to get. But at the same time, you don't know how you arrive to this conclusion. So you cannot really rely on that 100%. But you kind of sense, you somewhat know that, but you cannot guarantee that is exactly like how you saw and how you remember. Just like if you are in a dark room and then you just turn the light on and off, like in a half second, just like a sheet lightning in the middle of the clouds, you may be able to see all the furniture and everything, but it's going to be hard to memorize where everything is. Or maybe you saw something that it wasn't over there and you can stumble, you can hit yourself in the furniture. So that's one of like this sheet lightning of Nao Kawuk works. And also can represent if you are not focused in this TRECENA on the things you would like to direct our intuition, to get this light of information from, like we are likely just to be wasting our potential into gossips. So we need to be very aware on how we're going to be directing this light of intuition that Kawuk can provide, because otherwise you can just become stagnant in the place that we are, not doing anything with the resources, or maybe the resources are going to be like useless information that later you don't know why you're not moving in your life, why you're not like getting like where you like to get. So that's why it's very important that we need to be that we are focused on what we do with Naukawuk. Naukawuk days can be great days for you to do creative stuff, write something or write a project. The more you focus like your intentions on Kawuk, the more likely you are to receive the light towards that. But if you're just, just flowing with social media, with now knowing what to do, maybe you can get, like, you can listen to something here and there that will light up something about someone, so then they can become a mess, especially in our five, they can be uncontrolled. So remember to keep the focus of where you need to be, or where you would like to go in this TRECENA. So we are avoiding to act as well in exasperation in our Kawuk. Can be a very auspicious day, so we see the light that can put us in balance, or can compensate everything from the previous TRECENAs as well. But we need to be focused. Remember this, you need to be focused and be very aware of the strength that we're going to be applying stuff in this TRECENA. And then we're going to move to Wakib Hunahpu, 6, Conqueror Sun. Now 6 is the heart of the TRECENA, where we put things into perspective. Maybe not the best day to take an action, or just to make a decision, but it could be a good day for you to see everything that you gathered so far from all of these previous nows, from the ego, from the complementarity, from the thoughts, from the cuts, from the sheet lightning. Now it's time just to put everything into perspective. Put all of the ideas you collected in your basket, into perspective, to see how and you can use them, so you can ponder what to do with them. In nawal Hunahpu, we talk about the battle to overcome darkness. Just like we follow the metaphor of the seed that needs to overcome darkness to become a flower, or the warrior that needs to overcome its fears to conquer something. So it's going to be talking about this road for glory. But also, for example, whenever you achieve the glory, and then like your pride, grows too much, that sometimes you can be your own traitor. So we need to be in balance. We need to balance also the glow of stuff. After this overflow of lights that Kawuk can bring, we need to ponder very, very well, like the glow that we are obtaining from Kawuk. Because sometimes, like what is glowing, it's not always going to be gold. So Hunahpu also talks about the false glow. Sometimes, our self-pride. Because sometimes we can enter into a streak where things, goes right for us, but then, we build confidence, but sometimes not too much confidence, that we can become the traitor, can become mercenaries with this stuff, just acting by our own interests with people. So we need to be very aware. So Wakib Hunahpu is to ponder the glow. Also to ponder, about the help that some people are just offering you without getting anything in return. So we need to remember that nothing comes from free in here. So you need to ponder the people you have, by your side to fight this battle. So ponder the battle you are entering to fight as well. So you know, like what kind of strength you need to overcome some type of fears. Could be a fear to succeed, a fear to enter into a relationship, a fear to trust someone. So are all aspects that we need to overcome darkness. So this is a thing to do in Wakib Hunahpu. And then from Wakib Hunahpu, 6, Conqueror Sun, we're gonna move to Ukub Imosh, 7, Water. Now 7 is the climax of this TRECENA, is the hot water, where things tend to go in this TRECENA. So in here, like we're already going to be able to see what is the TRECENA about, where things tend to get into in the accumulation. It's just like we are in the top of the canyon, already observing where, like, the valley and the river, so we can decide where to go. And now Imosh is the now of the injection of strength, is the injection of force, the same injection of force that we apply to the seed to make things grow. So it's the now of the flow, it's the now of the growth. But Imosh is always too much strength, too much force, but very little control. So we need to be very aware on how we apply this strength with Imosh that we are accumulating in this TRECENA. because too much strength and little precision can lead things into madness, and that's what we want to avoid in this TRECENA. That's why that we need to bear in mind this is the TRECENA of the great balance. So make sure you use, like the strength that you can carry. Do not try to put more or just to carry more, like that you can actually handle, that you can actually carry in this TRECENA. Because here is where we're going to be applying this stuff. Like too much water can rotten any seed, can destroy all of the our sand castles that were building there by the shore. So we need to be very, very careful with nawal mosh. In the same way, nawal mosh also is connected to the collective consciousness, where we draw on inspirations from. So in the same way, we need to be careful, like on how we open the tap of water for these new inspirations to arrive. Because if you have like so many different beautiful things, sometimes we cannot do anything with them. We can create madness. We can destroy our tapestry with many good single ideas that don't complement each other. So we need to be focused on what we like to create. We need to be focused on what we need to use and how they fit into something. To walk this TRECENA in a balanced way. So make sure to not open too much this type of water, because sometimes this type of water will be coming from that overflow of light that Hob Kawuk provide us. So we need to make a good ponderation in the previous day in the Wakib Hunarpu to make sure what are we going to be doing or what kind of stuff that we need to inject force in this TRECENA, or to accumulate balance or to accumulate strength for us. So always remember that every nawal is passing the baton for another. We'll be continuing with the next day. Just like every day there is a new boss where we're going to be writing all of the text that's going to be delivering to the next one, that we're continuing in his own way to the other until we finish all of the heads of the TRECENA. So be very careful on what Emosh can bring, on how much strength you want to gather. Sometimes we don't need so much strength to get out of darkness, so sometimes we just need the essential stuff. So try to apply only the essential stuff in Ukubi Mosh 7 water. And from 7 water we're going to be moving to Washakib Yek 8 wind. Now 8 is the return of the TRECENA, is where the TRECENA restarts. So we're going to be heading to the accumulation in a more prepared way, or we're going to be like having more strength to the things we already saw during this past 7 days of the TRECENA. So what started in a new focus in Tz'ikin now can return with a new enthusiasm. Maybe after you apply and you injecting force, maybe you can get enthusiastic about the results you are getting. So it could be also a good time for you to go back and to analyze, just like Bahmak warned us, how you can move stuff, or what is the result. Make sure like you are just following your previous calculations, so you don't let the enthusiasm become that force that's gonna devastate everything. That can be the force that can be uncontrolled by the end of the TRECENA, as things are tending to accumulate. So we need to be aware on how much enthusiasm we deposit into our projects, our relationships, and everything. Because this hurricane of emotions that Tz'ikin brings, can makes us very vulnerable about stuff, especially because Emosh can lead things into madness. So we'll be very likely to explode with other people in this return of the angriness that now Tz'ikin can bring if things are not going towards to our way, or if we are reluctant about some stuff in this TRECENA. So we need to be aware of how much wind we give to this eagle to fly, or if we need to push a little bit harder to compensate the deer that is reluctant to move over there. So we need to make this compensation so we can start over in a more balanced way with Washakib Yek. Then from Washakib we're going to be moving to Belaer Akabal, 9 clarity. Now 9 is the now of the underground waters, like the what is hidden from sight, like the all of the gears, all of the gears behind my phone that allows my phone to work, or the hidden veins that are just make my blood travel from my body, your body. So now 9 talks about what is hidden from sight, but it's the key gear over there to make things function, but we cannot see them, and that's why we cannot neglect what the stuff that are running, just developing um, beyond our sights. And now Lakabal is also an owl that talks about gestation, but gestation of information. Akabal represents the first rays of the sun that starts illuminating what is in the dark. So it's about, for example, when we do a research that we're going to be clarifying like a topic that interests us, like that is still, okay, we saw a light over there, so we can clarify even more, go with the light to the dark. But also at the same time is also what to choose, like what stays in the dark and what comes to the light. So now 9 is going to be likely to stay hidden. So Kawuk talks more about information, what we do with information. Information is power. So Akabal is also the now that talks about the power obtained by hiding information. So using the information in the right time. So you cannot always talking about your plans to everybody. Otherwise, you can compromise the stuff that you are building. So you cannot trust 100%, in these things. It's not just because of the people, but sometimes it's better just to stay, to just stay a little bit more. And that's what Belay Hakabal is talking about. How we're going to be gestating this information. So we need to carry things in balance in this TRECENA. Like what, like a balance between darkness and light. Balance between this gestation of information. Like all of those ideas that we opened the path in the beginning of the TRECENA, they could be just sitting over there, like maybe it's not the right time to use them. Maybe they need a little bit more research to see if they have a ground over there. Like this Oshla Huker TRECENA is about grounding ourselves, just putting things into balance, just providing strength. Sometimes to gather strength, we need to just state these ideas a little bit more. So Belay Hakabal is about to gestate what comes to the light and what stays in the darkness, whether it's strategic or not. But also can be an owl that will requires you to be too much perfectionist into stuff. Remember, as I mentioned in Shib Naor, opening the path for the new ideas or the organization. If you're not organized, sometimes we can try to fit all of these ideas that don't work together at the same time. We want things to be perfect, but then Akabal can start complaining. So try to avoid that. And then from Belay Hakabal, we're going to be moving to Laur Kat, 10 burning into ashes. Now 10 is the convergence of the TRECENA. We associate that with the lake that receives the water from the rivers and also provides the water from the animals in the land. And so it's the convergence, where everything comes into one place. And now Kat is an owl of the sacrifices that we do for the other, or like when we take our energy to provide to the other. It comes from the verb katik, burning things into ashes. Just like when the fire consumes all of the fuel that was provided. Like when you get exhausted, you get all of the resources extenuated. So 10 cat can be the moment where like this convergence of the efforts that we do to one another. But we need to be aware of the energy we're applying over there. Like, because there are some people who can be more egoistic and only asking something for us, but now 10 is about giving and receiving from others. So it can be a day that you can do, help the others on their stuff. It can be a very day for the community, like what do you do for them, like the efforts that you do for the other, like the tasks that are going to be handling or the helping them. It can be like the community tasks uh, to apply in order for all of us to thrive. So that's one of the aspects of Laurkat. But you need to be very aware for not, just extenuating our own energy for others that don't deserve. Remember of pondering very well stuff like the people around us in Wakibu Hunahpu. So we need to be very aware of the amount of energy we are providing here. So we can be providing like words of guidance for others in there or helping them in their projects. So that's a good thing to do in our cat days. But be careful not extenuating your energy, burning yourself to the ashes, just carrying the weight of worrying for the other as well. Because you need to do everything into balance. Remember, if you extenuated our energy, like our spiritual energy, we won't have to more energy to provide the help in the quality that people need. So we need to always remember that the key of this TRECENA is being focused and balanced on how we're gonna be applying that, not just giving something that we also don't have that will compromise our own well-being. So this can be a great day, for collaboration work, things that we can do, for helping one another. And then from Laurkat, we're gonna move to Hulaurkan 11 Stellar Serpent. Now 11 is a now that spreads or dilutes, is the power of the water. It's just like the steam of water that comes out from the pressure pan. It's also a now that talks about divergence, but in a different way than now 3. But now 11 can dilute the substance of the other, just like when the waves crashes into the rocks and the spill water start just hitting that and forming the sand can dilute the rocks over there. So you can use the now 11 to dilute something that is happening to you, or to spread, or to see other different possibilities, different directions. Because 11 is just like the now yek, doesn't have the wind, doesn't have a single direction to go. It's kind of hard to predict where it goes. It can be chaotic in a sense. And now I'll come. We talk about the fury of the sky. Is the now of the intervention. Is the sound of thunder announcing changes in nature. So, and also is a now that we can expand to talk about the poison, talking about the enemy. We can talk about acting in a wise way as well, like how we use the knowledge, like we transform knowledge into wisdom. So 11 kan is the way, is a now to expand, like the possibilities to intervene, or can be the propagation of the fury, depending, like if we are extenuating our batteries in our cat, we became like complaining too much in Nakabal, or we came back, we restarted the TRECENA with angriness in our yek. 11 kan, no surprise, can be the propagation of the fury, and it can be a poison for ourselves. It can simulate sickness later on. But the best way to use the hula urkan can be to see the possibilities, to act wise, to intervene into something. If in the previous TRECENAs things went sideways, you could not dose very well the stuff, can be the now that you can say no, it's stopped, you got enough. So it's the moment where you decide to change the course or the direction into something, whenever you see that it's going like to like a bad place. So it's the moment where you can also dilute the poison, maybe of the fury that you are carrying within your heart, like maybe like in the beginning of the TRECENA, as we are talking about the tihash, maybe our wounds can be also we could be also just being mean with other people. So Hula Hurkan can be the day where you can dilute that fury. So and try to use all of this energy, this fury of the sky towards you a good intervention, something that will provide you balance or will provide you spiritual strength for you to put your life in order. So that's a good thing to do in Hula Hurkan. And then from Hula Hurkan, 11 stellar serpent, we're going to be moving to Kablaur Keme, 12 ancestors. Now 12 is the hidden balance of the TRECENA, what comes to compensate in the last minute and sometimes given an extra. So it's the surprise element of the TRECENA. Or comes, for example, to compensate the destruction that sometimes an nawal 5 can provide. So that's the essence of the nawal 12. In nawal Kame, we talk about the spirit of the deceased ancestors. They are floating with the breezes of the wind. And if in this TRECENA we're talking about this big altar, the nawal Care, the spiritual strength, is the place where we do the talking with the ancestors. We do the talking with the sky and earth, with the different realms. And Kame is the one that can also comes, and arrives suddenly as the sudden light that will provide us support into something. Sometimes we don't know what to do, or with all of the light that we got in this TRECENA. And 12 Kame can be that element surprise of the ancestors to provide us support. But on the other hand, depending on how we are dealing with things in this TRECENA, remember, it's not a fixed way. Things can go sideways. They can change, the path. Kame can represent the suffering, just like if we were just pondering stuff and not making an action to get out of darkness, to face the battle we need to face in order to achieve spiritual strength. 12 Kame can be the inevitable suffering, can be the unexpected tears that also the TRECENA could be providing. And that also reminds us that sometimes we need to fall to be aware of our own strength. So sometimes we can only learn how to walk whenever we face the darkest place in life. So that can also be a representation of 12 Kame. But the more we are following the TRECENA, just being aware and focus on the stuff that we gotta do, the battles we need to face, that we are entering, the better we are able to get the support from the ancestors. And then we're gonna move to the final day of the TRECENA, the ruler Oshlahu Ker, 13 deer. The nawal 13 is now the accumulation of everything that we've seen here so far. Like since the half second, the split second that now one starts, the nawal 13 is already dictating where things will accumulate. Now one provides like what opens a path, what is looking for a path, but is already being driven by the nawal 13. Every change of the direction that we do here in the TRECENA is already involved in what the 13 is pushing forward. Remember, time is not linear in the Maya calendar. So we always use, like what is in the future is pushing and also connecting to the past and the present. So that's the essence of the nawal 13, that is going to give like this biggest phase of what's going to be, completing this path that we walked in the entire TRECENA. And nawal Ker, once again, is a nawal of the spiritual strength, is a nawal of the altar, where we do our talkings, where we do like our negotiations. It's a nawal to put things into balance. So it's the symbol of the spiritual guide. It's also a nawal that we can talk about commanding stuff. It can also be the abuse of authority. For example, if we just take so much information with a cabal, we use the fury to be like the enemy or just to be mean with some other people. That can also be an expression of this TRECENA, on what we do with the strength we are accumulating. With the bad use, you can lead things into madness, as we saw in nawal 7 in Mosh. So 13 Ker is the biggest strength, is the biggest spiritual strength, is the greatest balance that we can achieve. So coming back, just like summarizing everything that we saw in here, We started the TRECENA in Tz'ikin with a new focus or new something that is disturbing us, so we can calculate the mistakes that we committed in the past, so we can project the calculations of the results we'd like to get in the accumulation in Kebahmak, so we can open the path, organizing stuff with different ideas to bring this balance, or to diverge into overthinking stuff in our three nawal, and then we can stop to heal in Kahib Tihash, so we can overflow with light in Hob Kawuk, so we can ponder the glow in Wakib Hunarpu, so then we can completely inject the force in Ukubi Mosh, so we can return with the enthusiasm, return with the strength of the wind in Washakib Yek, to gestate the clarity, to gestate what stays in the darkness and what comes to the light, the balance between this light and darkness in Belay Hakabal, so we can see what we can provide for the others in Lauch Kat, so we can later, see the different possibilities where we can do things in a smarter way or dilute the poison in Hulauch Kan, so we can see unexpected the support of the ancestors in Kabla Urkame, then you can accumulate all of this strength in Oshlahu Ker. And then all this strength accumulated is going to be the strength that we're going to be using to the next TRECENA, that is going to be the Oshlahu Hunarpu, is the biggest battle to overcome darkness. So we are collecting strength to face the battle, to become the warrior that's going to be conquering the stuff that we are heading to. And with this, we finalize this analysis of the Oshlahu Imosh, it's called Oshlahu Ker TRECENA, and I hope it was insightful for use. If you cannot, just follow the TRECENA live here. We can always come back here to see. And as we don't have so many people here today, I appreciate all of the company here, and see you all on our next TRECENA analysis. Bye bye, guys.